When you have an individual, in this case Umar Johnson, that has collected a large sum of money and refuses to be transparent, and there is no financial oversight, and now there are unpaid taxes, unpaid utilities, and a revoked nonprofit for not filing 990s for 3 consecutive years. If you are not familiar with the tax issues and the unpaid utilities, along with the revoked nonprofit, I recommend that you watch the following videos. You have to start taking a deeper look to see if this person has a history of being financially irresponsible. So that is what we are going to be doing in this video. We are going to be looking at everything from child support to eviction. Full disclosure, everything covered in this video is available via public records. The first thing we are going to look at is the child support. If we look at the child support order, we see multiple orders to vacate a bench warrant, which means a bench warrant was issued because Umar failed to comply with the court's order to pay child support. If we look at the docket, it shows a generic order. A generic order means the parent obligated to pay child support has no identifiable means of income, so minimum wage is implied and used to calculate the child support payment. The court could also look at tax returns to determine the wages. And since they are unable to determine the wages, there is a chance that Umar has not been filing tax returns. And this takes us to the next thing we are going to look at, which are tax liens. Tax liens are public record, and some states will even post the information directly on their website. If we go to the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue website, we see a link to the individual tax lien list. Here are the list of names, and you see it was updated on December 1st, 2019. If I scroll down, we see Umar name listed 4 times. And there is a total of $12,506.55 in tax liens. So that is the child support and the tax liens. And last but not least is the eviction and judgment for non-payment of rent. But before we look at that, we need to look at some additional information because it will help validate what I'm about to show you. So when you create a business, it has to be registered with the state. So if we go to the Pennsylvania Department of State website, we can search for registered businesses. I am going to enter the entity number for FDMG. Here we see the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RGB International Leadership Academy. But what I want you to do is pay close attention to the address listed, 350 East Willow Grove Avenue, because that is the address that was provided when this business was registered. So now if I go to the Philadelphia Municipal Court website, I am going to click search, choose defendant, then choose landlord tenant. I am going to type in Umar Johnson's name. You see Umar Johnson is listed twice. How do I know this is the correct Umar Johnson? Well, if we click on the case number, you remember that address I told you to pay close attention to. We see it's the same address listed on these court documents. The only difference is the zip code. One ends in an 8 and one ends in a 9. But if you do a Google Maps search, both addresses point to the same location. We see this case was filed on 12/15/2010. And if we look at the complaint, it's for non-payment of rent in the sum of $500.13. This case was withdrawn without prejudice, so maybe it was settled with the landlord. So if we go back and look at the next case, as you see, it's the same address. And this case was filed in 2019. If we look at the complaint, we see the following. The defendant is in possession of the property and refuses to surrender possession of the property. Plaintiff demands judgment of possession and money judgment in the amount itemized below, based on the following. You see the landlord is suing for what looks like the balance of July's rent and the full rent for August and September. Wait, didn't Umar go to Ghana in August, so he's living ghetto fabulous, traveling to Ghana while not paying his rent? If we look at the affidavit of service, we see that someone at the residence was served on 9/21. If we go back and look at the case, we see on 10/7/2019, the landlord got a default judgment because Umar did not respond to the complaint. So basically, he just ignored the lawsuit. We see a writ of possession was filed. Here is what this means. If the judge rules against you, the judge will award the landlord possession of the property. This means unless the defendant, Umar Johnson, filed an appeal and deposited the necessary money to stop the eviction with the court, he has to vacate the property. At this point, he has 21 days to vacate the property as follows. Only after 10 days from the date of the judgment, you will receive a writ of possession posted to your door. This document comes directly from the court. This says that you can be put out 11 days from the date of the writ. You see that this was done on 10/18. On 10/31, there is an affidavit that shows that the defendant Umar made no payments towards the judgment. Anytime on or after 11 days from the date of your writ of possession, a sheriff or a landlord-tenant officer will deliver an alias writ of possession. This gives them the authority to put you out, change the lock, or padlock the door. This was done on 10/31. So let's recap. We have child support payment issues. We have tax liens. We have an eviction for non-payment of rent. So if we take all of this into account, the problems that we are now seeing with the property in Delaware in regards to the non-payment of taxes and utilities does not appear to be coincidental, a mistake, or sabotage. Umar Johnson not handling his financial responsibilities seems to be a pattern of behavior. So let me know what you think. If you like the content, please make sure to like and share the video. Also, if you are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe.